Morning, welcome to Rome. Today I have mapped out an interesting route around the city, which I've put a wee bit of a theme onto, and yeah, I'm going to get out. It's about 7:15 right now, so I'm going to get out, get some running done before starting the kind of sightseeing, and yeah, let's get around Rome. There's a bit of a theme to this one. So about 20 years ago, Dan Brown brought out the Da Vinci Code. Massive hit across the world. Everybody read it. However, I actually was a bigger fan of his first book, which came out 25 years ago. And that's set entirely around Rome, where Robert Langdon has to try and follow the Path of Illumination, go to all the different altars of science, and solve the case. So today, that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to follow the Path of Illumination around Rome, visit the altars of science, and yeah, basically go and see a couple of other things there as well. Right, I'm here, a short distance away from where I started, at the third altar of science. The only way the route would work was if I have to do them slightly out of order. It's just not possible to get to them in 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is the third altar of science, fire, at the Santa Maria della Vittoria church. And inside, that's where the ecstasy of Santa Maria. I'll put the proper name of the thing up, but that's where the altar is. So yeah, that's in this church here, just behind me, not too far into the route. It's basically situated kind of just behind me. But yeah, first stop done. Next stop is going to be the Piazza del Popolo for the earth altar. Again, the actual altar's inside the church, but I'm going to go to the Piazza del Popolo, which is somewhere I've actually ran through before, in 2019. In fact, that's the t-shirt I've got on today when I've done the Rome run. But yeah, next stop, Piazza del Popolo. One of the things I love about Rome is things like that. Everywhere you go, there's something cool to see. I've made one slight deviation from my actual route. I was intending to maybe go and run around the Trevi Fountain, but it's very, very busy there. I think at this time of day it's going to be a nightmare trying to negotiate it, so I'm going to skip that section out and then go straight to Piazza del Popolo. This isn't the first time I've run down this road actually. As I said, in 2019 I did We Run Rome, and basically a 10k route across the city. And one thing I'm quite interested with it is you pass by loads of major sites and things like that. So when I ran by here, I completely ignored the fact the Spanish Steps are behind me, and I'm blasted right by it, not paying a blind bit of attention, just focusing on where I was going ahead of me. And yeah, I totally missed them. Yeah, that race I did back then was one of my favourite ever races I've ever done. Partly took place was abroad, and because it was around one of my favourite cities, and it just covered so much of the place. It started near Circus Maximus, went towards here, this bit, came down this road behind me, went through it past the Popolo, up quite a steep slope, and then through a park, and back down towards Rome, and it finished through the Colosseum, around the Colosseum, and then back down towards Circus Maximus and the start line. It was great. Weaving in and out, even at this time in the morning. Rome's busy, there's plenty of people out there some sightseeing. So yeah, so that's why I brought my shirt out again. I brought it back home, and yeah, I'm going around Rome again. So I do some of the same route, like this bit here we ran along, but the rest of the route's pretty brand new for me, especially as I'm going to some areas where we didn't cover in the run. But yeah, it's quite a good route I've picked. It starts up near Germany and then works its way back down towards the Vatican via this. And yeah, covers quite a few major landmarks. So I've been looking forward to doing this one. I can see the location is nearby the next altar of science ahead. Here we are, Piazza del Popolo. Now, when I did the race here, we went up that path there and then started working our way very, very slowly all the way up to the top. Today I'm staying firmly on the flat and over here. So I'm going to go to the actual church where the Cheese Chapel is, I think, and go to where, as close as I can get to the Earth Altar of Signs. Right, I'm behind it. So this is the second church on my list. It's the Santa Maria del Popolo. That's where the square I think getting its name from. And yeah, this is where the Earth Altar of Signs is, inside in the Cheese Chapel. Now as you can see, the doors are locked. I'm not getting in there. But I've made it to the second point. The third point, or the third altar of signs, is air. This is where I'm going to get to cross an international border again. Quite looking forward to that. But first, before I get there, oh no wait, the last altar of signs I'll get to will be air. The next altar of signs actually is water, which is fourth. This is what I mean of my order of the altars is weird, just because of the route. So this is one. The first one I went to was actually 3. The next one I'm going to get to is 4. That's actually at Piazza Navona. And finally I'll get to the air altar in St Peter's Square. It's actually quite impressive that even at this time in the morning there's tours out around Rome. Now as much as the next altar of signs I'm going to is water, the actual next point I'm going to is a mistake. But not for me, for Robert Langdon. Yeah, so I'm going to go to the next point where it's actually where he thinks the first altar of signs is. Not where it was behind us, but he thinks it's the Pantheon. He misunderstands the clue, which seems to be a common thing in a lot of the books. Read the clue, go wrong place, then go to the right one, and then he gets like, oh! I'll leave the end of the clip in. It didn't get the full fall, but yeah, I've just went down. Oh, I don't know, I've just slipped in something on the ground. I thought I got away. I thought I was out of my run instance in Monaco, but no, I've fallen and I battered my knee right off the ground. Bells are tolling for me. I think I'm okay, I can walk. This guy behind me's properly running, but look at that weight on it. I've hurt myself. I actually thought if I was going to fall over and home, it would have been on the cobbles behind me. But no, I managed to fall on a completely flat piece, just slipped. Feet went from under me. It'll be fine. Walk off here. That'll be alright. I think I've still quite a bit of a distance to go. If I was sensible here, I'd probably turn round, go back to the hotel, pick up this journey tomorrow from the same point. But, as is proven falling in Singapore, because the government bit in Azerbaijan, I'm not. So I'm going to plough on. My leg feels okay again actually. It's not as bad. It's just check my watch there. It's just a bit of a sore when I gave it a battle off the ground. So as I was saying before, I was rudely interrupted by the ground. This is the first point that Langdon does make a mistake. And as I was saying, it's like a common thing in the books. Well, a clue that he completely misinterprets, goes to the wrong location, then either gets the right one in the nick of time, or, spoilers for Angels and Demons, is late, as he was at the first altar of signs. And in fact, that's sort of the theme all the way through the 4. At every altar of signs, Langdon and Swiss Guard turn up late. They're always one step behind. Now hopefully I'm not late to each of these side altars, but we'll see. So here we are at the Pantheon. Now, interesting fact, you used to be able to get in here for free. It's now paid entry, so it's worth visiting, but we've got it free. But yes, this is where Robert Langdon thinks the first altar of signs is, because part of the clue mentions something about a demon's hole, and there's a massive oculus in the roof of it. Huge big hole looking out to the sky. Clue's obviously wrong, and end up having to run all the way to Piazza del Popolo instead, which is not actually that far away. And if you're in cars, it wouldn't take you too long to get to. However, this is the first point where they actually go to, but it's wrong. But that's as far as I'm going to do here. Well, I can't see the restaurant we ate at last night, it's behind me there. But yes, from here I'm going to go to Path of Illumination, the actual next altar of science I'm going to visit. Just in case you're not sure which country I'm in. And this is Path of Illumination. And I'm pretty sure that is the fountain of the Four Rivers. So yes, this is the final altar of science that Langdon gets to in the book. The fountain of the Four Rivers in Piazza Navona. Now, this is one that's interesting. So the first time I visited here, years and years ago, in the book, Langdon, one of the cardinals is actually in the water, right underneath it. Right at the very, very bottom of this deep now, they can't get off, he's tied to all these chains. And Langdon dives in to try and save him, can't lift him. So Langdon hides under the water, the incredibly deep water in the book. There you can see behind me, the water's barely a foot deep. Yeah, I think Dan Brown took some artistic license for this part of the book. Yeah, it's tiny, but it's a really cool looking thing. Let's see if I can look around it, you can see. Even this thing beyond another location in Rome, it's very, very busy. Over to the other side of it. So yeah, this is my third altar of science for me, fourth one in the book. The last one for me to get to is the Ear altar, and that's where I am across the border. Behind me is the Bridge of Angels and the rather imposing looking Castle San Angelo, which belongs to the Vatican City. They are supposedly it's a path from the Vatican directly into Castle San Angelo. At least there is an Angels and Demons, and that's where Robert Langdon goes to, I think, try and rescue somebody towards the end of the book. But yeah, I'm going to go across the Bridge of Angels and then take a left and head straight up towards Vatican City. If you look directly in front of St Peter's Basilica, you can see where the next altar of science is that I'm going to, that massive obelisk. And that's the theme with all of them, they're all marked with an obelisk. To be totally honest, it's been years since I read the book, so I can't actually remember exactly why they were all marked with obelisks. I think it was to do with the architect Bellini. He quite liked them, so he used it as a secret Illuminati member to mark where they all were. But yeah, now I'm presuming I can get through and get in. You know, it is a Sunday, and I think the big guy up here does something on a Sunday, so it could be locked off to me. But I'm going to try. I mean, the Azerbaijan police never gave me any bother with the Swiss Guard. I'm not sure if it's clear in front, but there's a barrier. Need to figure out how to get into Vatican City. And that's not a phrase I've ever thought I'd be saying. Right, I just spoke to some nice volunteers, and yes, it's blocked off at the moment, but they said if I go down to the right hand side and go through, there's no security control, so I can go in through this bit here, through the barriers, and I can get to it. Right, I've successfully crossed the border into the Vatican City. I'm now in the second country of this run and I'm on my way to the final altar of science, Air. So I'm here now in St Peter's Square. Behind me is the final altar of science. It's the obelisk, as you can see there, and on the ground there are the markers showing Air. And yes, so this is the second altar of science where the second cardinal was found. right in the middle of the square because it's a strange one. The square's absolutely rammed because during the book it's conclave. So all the priests, oh sorry, all the cardinals are in the Sistine Chapel there, going through conclave. St Peter's Basilica is locked down. The entire square's on high alert, and that's why the Illuminati managed to kill the second cardinal right here in the middle of everybody. It's quite a big bit of the book. It's quite well done. But yes, I'm here, thankfully no murder of cardinals, and yeah, I've been allowed into the Vatican City, which is quite nice. The guys actually were really good there at getting me in. Now I think at 12 o'clock the Pope will do his, whatever the Pope does, sermon and all that, and I'm guessing that'll be either up there or some windy turns up at somewhere. Maybe up there. I'm not really sure. But yes, the Pope will do all his bits and pieces later, so the square is quite busy at the moment. But they've let me in, which is really good of them. I am, however, going to get back out of here because I need to go back to the hotel. However, what's quite good is I have finished the Path of Illumination in a completely strange order, but it worked for me. And I've visited all the major sites of Angels and Demons. My run's not quite over yet. I do hope to try and get to a couple more points on my way back, if I can find my way out of Vatican City. Yeah, I'm going to get through the arches over here, hopefully. No? How did I get out? Exit. Exit. Yeah, so I'm going to find my way out of Vatican City and start making my way back. I'm basically at the furthest extent of the run. I'm as far away as possible from the hotel, so I need to get back. I think I can go via one place maybe. I'll see. I'm currently running alongside the River Tiber. Again, this features towards the end of Angels and Demons as well, where Robert Langdon falls out of a helicopter and lands in the water. Again, spoilers, but look, the book's 25-year-old. Come on. I'm pretty sure this is where Robert Langdon's supposed to fall into the water from the helicopter. But I'm being totally honest, if you fall from a helicopter at a decent height into that, even with a bit of cloth to try and slow you down a wee bit, you're not going to make it. But then again, Langdon had to make it because you wouldn't have much of a series of books ends, would you? See what I mean? Everywhere you go, always something to see in Rome. So the area of Rome I'm in right now has nothing to do with Angels and Demons, and instead it's just my route back to the hotel. I'm going to go by somewhere very, very cool. This is the Circus Maximus, Rome's very own NASCAR track, and it's accessible, so I'm going to have a wee run along it. So while the Colosseum was where you get all the gladiator fights, this is where you get the chariot races. And for me, this is amazing. When this was fully built, it seated a lot of people. A lot. Yeah, chariots would go up that side, round, and then down where I'm going here, turned on by, right down at the bottom corner, before turning around. It's not a particularly long track, I'm feeling it now when I'm running it, but back down to the chariots, that was great entertainment. Now I know it looks like I'm running on an ancient monument, and that's because I am. We are allowed to. This is an accessible park area, and in fact there goes concerts and all sorts of things here. When we were here in 2019, same day as the race, that night the New Year's Eve celebrations were right on Circus Maximus with a stage at the far end. So yeah, I like on it. This, however, is the furthest extent I can go. They've blocked off that bit. That bit is protected, quite rightly. So we cut across the central reservation, up the wee hill, on the far side of the track, and then back towards the hotel. Up ahead of me is Palatine Hill, behind that is the Roman Forum. We are fully in ancient Rome now. I couldn't do a run of Rome and not go to the best place in the whole city. Last wonder of the world, or one of the wonders of the world rather, Colosseum.
I think they are too.
I've realised I took my selfie stick all the way around, went for a walk. Mainly because I'm not overly confident of running with it. But I'll try it for the final bit. This can be tested for another run in the future. But yeah, that was Colosseum. So, from here, and that's why I don't use the selfie stick. Yeah, from here, I'm going to head straight on up the hill, back to the termini, back to the hotel. So, I hope you've enjoyed that. I did. And yes, I completed the Path of Illumination and a bit of sightseeing around Rome too.